Hello, hello. We are at the pump right now, filling this bad boy up. We got a trip of roughly 145 miles, 150 miles. We're gonna try to see if we can get 40 miles per gallon out of the 25-mile range. Try to break some records, and we'll shoot for over 35 miles per gallon on the, well, let's just go for 40 miles per gallon on the 50 and the 25 range. Let's see what we'll do. I'll just cruise in this thing and we'll see what the best mileage we can get out of it. We're going from Sandy to Richfield in Utah, and yeah, we got a little mini road trip this weekend, so we'll see what we can get, shoot for some awesome mileage, and we'll see where we're at. We did it. We broke the fuel mileage record for that truck, personal best. Did a quick little weekend trip, nearly 700 miles to a tank possible. Let me show you. All right, so if you're not familiar with it, check out my other videos. So here it is. We're in the truck. Let me fire this thing up so I could show you what I got out of it. I did a roughly 500-mile trip. It was definitely fuel mileage motivated. I wanted to see how good we could get it. So it was a road trip from Sandy, Utah to Richfield for the night, and then Richfield to Capitol Reef to Goblins something, and then back home to Sandy. So as you see right here, we have roughly 209 miles left on this tank, and our 50-mile best, 41.9. I'd say that's pretty darn incredible there. Let's see what the 25-mile came out to be. 52.4 best. Now I know that the 25-mile is like easy to get super high miles per gallon, but I mean seriously, 52.4. And then the 50-mile, you know, that bad boy is over 40 right there, 41.9. So I would say 41.9 on a 50-mile. You know, you think, okay, you're going to get your best mileage on downhills, blah, blah, blah. But you're not going to have 50 miles of it, you know? So let me scroll over to the total trip. Now, obviously, I reset this before we left, because that's common sense when you're doing something like that. Look at that, 528.4 miles with an average of 28.8. So 528, and then it says we have 209 left. You could do the math on that, right? That's over 700 miles to a tank possible if I would have continued just road tripping. That's incredible. I never once assumed that I could get that high of fuel mileage. But man, if you're doing like big road trips, this is the truck to have. If you're not familiar, this is a 2020 LM2 Duramax Diesel, the 3.0 liter. It's an RST truck. It's all stock, 100% stock. I haven't changed anything. There's no lift on it. There's no tire change. There's no nothing. It's 100% stock. And yeah, we're looking at 700 miles to a tank. I was excited to hear that I could potentially do 600 miles to a tank, but 700 miles, that's just unheard of. Like that's awesome for a truck. And this is just the standard tank, no big tank, no nothing. And you saw my depth fluid. I haven't touched that depth fluid since my last tow video where I topped it off, and that was like 2,800 miles. So we've gone 1,000 miles and it hasn't budged. Now it was a lot of cruising, obviously, but I wasn't going like 10-15 miles an hour under the speed limit. I legit did the speed limit or 5 to 10 over like I normally do. However, I didn't smash on the throttle more than 2 times, but I took it easy. I just kind of drove smart, you know. I didn't accelerate extremely fast. I did find a sweet spot on this though, and that is 40 to roughly 45 miles an hour. It'll be locked into 10th gear, and you're sitting at like 1100 RPMs in this thing. I was going up a hill a couple times, because I was stuck behind a slow car, which was a benefit on that. But we're going up this hill, and it's showing like 60 miles per gallon while going up a hill at that speed. And that's incredible. And I did go through regen. Right at the end of this, we were going through regen because it would not do the auto stop when I came to a stop. And I didn't have the heater on. I didn't have anything on, no AC. It should have done the auto stop for sure. And it did not. And it definitely felt like it was lacking power taking off. It had all the signs that it was in regen. It smelled hot, but it's not hot on the gauge. It was definitely in regen. And we still got this mileage with it in regen. So I'm going to wrap this up because how long do you really need me to talk about this? But I will add one more thing. I got one more thing that just reminded me. So I told you the 40 to 45 miles an hour is a good range for this truck. Now, cruise control, I played around with cruise control on and off. And with cruise control on and you're going down a hill, it fights you. So you can't get that 99 mile per gallon going downhill. It did it sometimes, but it didn't do it enough. So what I did was I just killed cruise control. And if I came to a downhill, we just coasted down the downhill. I didn't throw it in neutral. I didn't do anything like that. I didn't tailgate any big diesel trucks to hyper mileage this thing. I didn't do anything silly like that. I drove like a normal person that was going out to enjoy a road trip. But then I did these little things that just tried to help with the fuel mileage. That was the goal. When I left the gas station, it was the goal. I'm like, dude, I'm going to hit 40 miles per gallon. I think at first I was like, I just need to hit 35, but then I changed it. This thing is awesome. Fuel mileage is awesome. Don't use cruise control if you're trying to get the best mileage and you're going to go downhill. It'll fight you. But that's it. I hope this helps somebody that's in the fuel mileage questions of these trucks. The Duramax is awesome. I'm telling you, the Duramax, you need a Duramax 3.0 inline 6. This thing is great. Till next time, see ya.